Hello, everybody! I'm actually in the right page. I hope I am live. Let me just check my, refresh my page. This live should start soon. So I do not know if this is actually live because I can't see it on the page. So hello replayers. If you are watching this, there I am. Make sure the sound is good. Yes! Awesome. Alright, so I'll leave that on so I can see the comments. So this will be relatively, I will keep it 30 minutes. Last few have been going over a little bit longer than I want. But that's neither here nor there. So welcome. This is live Q&A Wednesdays. And I have decided that today I wanted to talk about choice. And just so you guys know, part of the new content that I've created is I created a new method, coaching method, that kind of goes along with my my signature coaching system. And it's called the CREATE method, and the C stands for choice. And we got the R, responsibility, ego. Oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. What is A? I'll get back to you. I'm still working on the content. But it's called the CREATE method, and it all kind of leads right into my whole concept of everyday enlightenment, which I think is really, really important, especially in this day and age. There's so much stuff going on around us in different countries, and the wars, and the all that stuff, and trying to, because we can't change things. We can't change the world. Crap is going to happen. And if you watched my midnight musing from Monday, it's going to happen. And I also, from yesterday, I talked about it again. It's going to happen. Stuff is going to happen. So what do you do about it? Well, the whole thing about, especially in this whole realm of transformation, sorry, I just kicked the table. This whole realm of transformation is choice. It all starts with choice. And it sounds like it's really simple. And it kind of is really simple because you just choose. You just say, you know what? I'm choosing something differently today. And that is what is going to start the process of changing your life. That's just what it's going to do. You have to choose to change your life. Your life is not just going to change. It's just not. It's not. You have to do action. And, there is the law of deliberate creation. You have to put in the inspired effort. You have to start the process of creation. And that begins with choice. And the part about choice is a whole list. I have a whole list of things that can go to choice. But what I want to talk about is redefinition. Now let me explain. When I say redefinition, I'm talking about a redefinition of self. Okay? I'm talking about a redefinition of how you see the world. A redefinition of the stories that we tell ourselves in our head. We grow up with these thoughts and these filters that were basically kind of thrown at us as from little kids. We're supposed to be this way. We're supposed to be that way. We're supposed to do this and not that. And little girls, don't play in the mud puddle. That's not what girls do. Okay, well, you know what? If you want to play in a mud puddle, go play in a mud puddle. That's a choice. It's not going to make you any less of a human being. But because we have these filters that get forced upon us as we grow up, we begin to believe them. And then we force them on ourselves. And if we fail at one thing, we will automatically sit there and say, oh, well, I can't, 10 years down the road, I can't do it because I failed at it once. Well, that's a story. So how do you redefine that to a better story? You make a choice. You have to make a conscious and deliberate choice to change the way you see yourself. And that's the first step, is you have to change the way you see yourself. Are you going to see yourself through the eyes of family members who told you, no, don't do this, no, don't do that, that's not the way girls are supposed to act, that's not the way boys are supposed to act? Or are you going to deliberately choose to see yourself for who you really are? Really are. And are you going to make the choice to start peeling away those layers of onion that we have added on us every single day? There's a choice there. There's a choice there. And I'm seeing nobody's live here. So, I see Bobby. Hi, Bobby. But, so you have to make the choice. You have to make the choice how you're going to see yourself. And then you have to make the choice on what step you're going to take to start the process of transformation. Okay? You're going to have to choose to ignore the voice in your head. And we've had many conversations about not listening to the voice in your head and creating space between that voice and who you really are. Because you really are the watcher of that voice. You're not the voice. So you have to choose to flip that. Choose to flip your mindset and say, you know what? I'm listening to this voice, so obviously somebody is listening. And that is the true me. So you make the choice. How else can we make choices? Well, we'll bring it back to family. You have family and friends that has seen you a certain way, and they will always react to you a certain way. For example, there are members of my family who will always see me as the 14-year-old brat that I was in high school, or even younger than that. They'll see me as the 8-year-old who needed to be protected. I'm 47. I don't need to, that's not the truth. That's not who I am. So I have to choose to not pay attention to their perceptions of me. Because I've said it before in other videos, perceptions are not the truth. Opinions are not the truth. Okay? So you choose how to respond to people who see you, like you were 20, 30, 40 years ago. You don't have to listen to them. Because if you are really trying to transform your life, be who you are, be authentic, you have to make a deliberate choice. And I keep saying choice, because I really want you to get it into your head that choice is your first step. If you have a lot of crap going on in your life, well, what choices can you make to help you deal with them? If you are in a relationship that is toxic or abusive or not doing it for you, Are you going to sit there and live in misery? Or are you going to make the choice to honor and respect yourself, to want more out of life? See where I'm going with this? See where I'm going with this? It all is a choice. Just like you choose to go to this store instead of this store, or you choose to have this pasta or this pasta, you have to make choices that are even bigger. Hi, Jackie! You have to make choices that are going to propel you. Because guess what? This is your life. This is your life. Not anybody else's. Not your husband's, not your wife's, not your mother's, not your father's, not your friends, not your children's. This is your life. And how are you going to choose to live it? I know I'm kind of coming at you a little harshly. But I'm really big on this. You know, choice and responsibility is really huge. I personally had to make deliberate choices to change my life. I had to. I was in my 30s. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't handle life because my ADHD, which was never diagnosed as a child, was out of control. It was out of control. I would stand in the middle of my living room and put my hands on my head and scream, I can't do this. Because I was so... I never had the skills to manage it. Well, what did I do? I said enough is enough. And I made the choice. I made the choice to sit there and say that this isn't acceptable. This is not acceptable. I cannot live like this. And so I took the necessary steps. I chose the necessary steps to help me get out of that thing. And yeah, I started, I went to a psychiatrist at first, and he didn't want to put me on medicine. He put me on caffeine pills. And believe it or not, it got to the point where it worked a little bit. It worked a little bit. And caffeine still to this day is my go-to if I really need to focus. But it got to the point I was taking 14 caffeine pills at a time. What type of life is that? I was sleeping all the time because it couldn't do it. So I chose to stop that. I chose to stop going to the psychiatrist. I chose to do some research. I did some research. I went online and I tried to find people who were dealing with the same thing. Adults with ADHD. Believe it or not, it's a huge, huge percentage of the population because people in my age, that was not a diagnosis. You were just the kid that daydreamed all the time and was unruly in class. But as an adult, it was starting to be a problem. So I made the choice and I found things that worked for me. And then one of the biggest things I had to do was I had to choose to not take myself so seriously. I had to choose to get over myself. My house was never going to be a clean house. It just wasn't going to happen. And I was fighting it and fighting it and fighting it for years and years and years. And it was such a stress and a burden on my shoulders that it was ridiculous. And then I'd go on a cleaning spree and I'd be with the hyperactivity, I'd go on a cleaning spree, hyper-focused, clean for 14 hours straight, never stop, and then be in bed for 3 days. How does that serve me? So I had to choose to accept and allow the things about me that I couldn't change. So, there's ways around every situation. I don't care how bad it is. There is a way, and you have to find it, and then you have to choose to take that road less traveled, or choose to take a different perspective. And let me just tell you, when you start making choices, big choices, your life changes. And it changes fast. And there are going to be people who don't like it. They don't like it because they want to keep you in a box. Well, guess what? We're not meant to be in a box. We're not. And hopefully I'm not too loud. I have my new microphone here. Actually, it's not new. I've had it for like 10 years, but I'm using it, so hopefully it's not too loud. I did test it beforehand, but I digress. So where was I? I have no idea who's here because my counter is not accurate right now. I know a couple people popped in. I don't know if you guys are still here. I don't know if you're commenting. There's a lot of techie crap happening today. And you know what? I'm going to choose to deal with it. Because if I don't choose to deal with it, it's going to frustrate the heck out of me. I have a busy afternoon. I have to make things work. And if I don't get my house clean for when my guest comes at 5:45, then I don't get my house clean before my guest comes at 4:45. I have to deal with it because I am not a superwoman. I'm not. And I don't want to be. I want to be me. I want to be Victoria. So I'm choosing to let things go. I'm choosing to allow things to happen. And I hope that some of this really resonates with you because it's really, I'm telling you, it's the first step to everything. Everything. You have to choose. You can't sit there on the couch and be all depressed because life's not going the way you want it. Because that's going to do you no good. You're going to miss out on something. You're not going to learn the lessons you need, and you're going to be stuck on that hamster wheel that I talk about all the time. Do you want to be on a hamster wheel? If you do not want to be on a hamster wheel, type N in the comments for no. Because I'm telling you, hamster wheels are no fun. I spent 20 years on one, and I was done with it. Totally done with it. I couldn't, I made the choice that something was going to have to change. And you know what had to change? Me. I had to change. And when you change your life, or change yourself, you change your life. When you change your thoughts, you change your life. Wayne Dyer, that was probably one of the best quotes he ever came up with, is change your thoughts and change your life. And there's a book on it. I recommend it. It's a very good book. But you have to change yourself. There's no way around it. So I'm ranting and rambling, and I don't know who's here. I don't know if there's going to be questions. If there are questions, be sure, even if you're a replayer, be sure to put it in the comments, and I will come back to it. If there's something really serious that you want to talk about, just hook me up. Just hook up with me. Like, either private message me, we can set up an appointment where we can talk and we can have an inspiration session, or you can just give me a scenario and I will come in with another live. I've had a lot of shifts this week, and one of my biggest choices that I had to make this week is I had to realize that what I have is good enough. Because I'm good enough. And I teach this all the time, and I keep telling you guys that you're good enough. Better yourself and do the things that you want to do, but you're good enough just the way you are. And I have had years of transformation, education, and self-work, and it's time for me. So I've chosen this time to step out and be me. I love learning. I've been learning a lot, but I dimmed my light so that I can learn from others, which I think is a really good thing. If you're trying to learn from somebody, you don't want to, that was a deliberate choice to dim my light so other people can shine. I needed to learn stuff, and I knew who was going to teach me, and I let them shine. Well, you know what? It's time for me now. I've been putting it off, trying to get things put together, and it's time. And the new group is going to start, I'm going to launch it on the new moon, because I am woo. I'm very woo. And the new moon is perfect for new beginnings. And this is going to be a new beginning. So we're going to have 2 groups. And one's going to be a little bit more intense. And then we're going to have this one. And that's going to start, the second one is going to start on the new moon. So we just had the full moon. So, probably what? It takes 2 weeks? Something like that? Or, it's something like that. But anyway, so I don't know if there are going to be questions. I normally open the floor, but I can't see all of my counters and stuff like that, except for the time that I've been speaking. Nothing is working. So I don't know if you've been commenting. I don't see any comments on my iPad. So, hey, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just ranting. I'm going to be ranting a lot more often. I don't know if you've noticed that. But I've made a choice that a lot of the information that I have and a lot of my opinions on certain things matter. And they're different from other people. And sometimes they might be controversial. And sometimes they might be a little confronting. But that's just me. I'm going to call you out on your stuff. You know, and I see it all the time when people hide behind other things. You know, if something's not working for you, make it work for you. Figure it out. Figure it out. Make the choice to figure it out. And don't complain. The more you complain, the more you are sabotaging yourself. I mean, yeah, if you want to have a little, like I said on my video last night, if you want to have a moment where you're saying, gosh, darn it, and get mad, do it. Do it. Just don't stick there. Don't stay there. Choose action. Choose action. Make something work for you. Just make it work for you. So that is pretty much all I had to speak about. And I know this is supposed to go till 5, but I don't see anything. So I don't know if there's tech issues. I know Bobby was having some tech issues earlier, and I've seen it in other things. It could be a lot of the stuff. We have the full moon. We have a partial lunar eclipse somewhere else in the planet. We have Uranus going, or Uranus, however you're going to say it, in retrograde, which pretty much throws everything upside down on its head. We have Lionsgate. We have a couple meteor showers coming. We have the solar eclipse this month. This month, it's freaking nuts. It's freaking nuts. So I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of these issues going forward until everything comes back in. I do not know when Uranus comes back into goes direct. I do not know. I don't even know anything about Lionsgate, but there's a lot of people talking about that. But that just happened like today. Like I think it's like you had the partial lunar eclipse, you had the full moon, and you had Lionsgate all happening at the beginning of this week. It's crazy. I'm just thankful that I naturally shield myself from a lot of the energies, but a lot of people have been feeling it. They've been feeling drained. They've been feeling upside down. The upside down, topsy-turvy feeling that's coming from Uranus. Yeah, so that is my thought. Just make a choice, people. Redefine your story. Redefine who you are. Redefine what you want out of life. And redefine your behaviors. Don't just go on autopilot and do the same thing you've been doing. Because guess what? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. I think that's Confucius. I think. It doesn't really matter. It makes a lot of sense. So if something you've been doing, or somehow you were reacting, or something that you've been doing your whole life, and all of a sudden it's not working anymore, then choose to change it. Choose to change it. So that is that. So we've only had a 25-minute video today, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that. Gives me time to vacuum my floor before my guests come. But I just wanted to express that. And I may come in with other ideas about choice. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that go around, especially this create method. I'm going to do a video about this create method that I've designed. And I'm refining. The C is the first step of that method, which is choice. You have to choose. And the R is responsibility. And so we're probably going to talk about that eventually in a couple weeks or whatever, about how we need to be responsible for ourselves and for our place in this world. So that being said, I'm going to sign off. Hopefully there will be questions coming in later. I hope you got value from this. And as always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and walk in love and light. Choose to walk in love and light. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, wherever you are on the planet. And I will see you in the group. Bye-bye.